Hey, what's the deal, y'all? This is your boy Talent. That guy right there is Amir, one of the extraordinary minds out here today. And we come together to try
Thank
to
you.
help you uplift those spirits. It's
Yes,
Motivation
yes.
Monday, man. Come on.
Motivation Monday. Let's go.
Come
Let's
on, man.
go.
People asked me earlier, it's always like, because all those hours between when I get on at 11 a.m. and
Mhm.
then back on at 6 p.m. motivating, and those hours I get like at least 20 texts every week, never fail, and then somebody or inbox like, what? Well, I don't have a reason to be motivated. I always get a couple of. I'm like,
Wow.
you're alive talking to me right
The simplest things. It's so funny, T. To that exact point. You always ask me how my weekend was. Weekend was good. A
now.
lot
Right.
of really cool things. I didn't watch any more news, so that really helped me keep my mental. Told you I wasn't gonna mess with you. Uh, but but what I did do was I did catch the game. So Saturday there was a ton of really good games football wise. If for people out there who are football fans, what I liked about Saturday's games is there were a lot of dope catches. There were a lot of really good catches. Like cats got their feet down, pirouettes, one arm catches over the head. You like, yo, it was a lot of really good catches Saturday.
Even
Sunday,
interceptions. Even
yeah, and even
interceptions. One
interceptions. Yep,
handed.
same. Yes, that. Yeah, yeah. But then Sunday was a couple of beatdowns that we didn't really foresee coming, but we did kind of foresee coming. So
Mm,
Sunday was a little different. But so I had that, but then I actually had a few phone calls and text messages to the point you just made that really picked up my spirits. These were people I hadn't heard from a while, really wasn't even expecting to hear from,
right.
but out of the blue, they called or text me and, was like, hey, what's going on? And I was like, wow. And it really did lift my spirits for two reasons. First and foremost, because I wasn't expecting it. And then secondly, it was just nice to catch up and kind of see where things are going in their world
Right.
and let them find out where things were going in my world. So that, as I always encourage everybody on, every week, reach out to your people. Look, you don't think that it makes a difference. You don't think that it's a big deal, but to them, it could be everything. So please, y'all,
Yeah.
let's do our part. And that's, like I said, it's a text, it's a phone call. Even if they don't answer, please don't be stricken by that either, because in all fairness to everybody, we all have things going on and we all trying to do the best we can to navigate, this particular climate right now. So don't think that somebody's, specifically ignoring you and all this stuff. You never know what people are going through.
Yeah.
And I'm
I
finding
like I like that you brought up the football. You know why? Because to be honest with you, bro, I just said people hit you. Hey, I don't, what's to be motivated about? Some people find refuge in entertainment. Football is sports and entertainment. So sometimes just something like you said, that little bit right there, that peace of mind, and if you're a fan of the game, your team win. You know what I mean? And that lifts your spirits. And now you're walking around because fans of sports, they live and die with their team. So
yes,
their team lose, they'll be depressed for that week or that day or that 2 days or whatever. And if their team win, they'd be on a high for those 2 days or that week or whatever. So I'm glad you brought that up because that's a good point to highlight. I know damn well. I'm glad I took a nap on the Seattle game. So I'm riding high, Buffalo. I rep New York all day. So Buffalo win. I'm riding high. I get some. I'm finishing my food, whatever. Seattle come on. I caught myself watching that joint, and it was like a movie that drags out. So I was like, "So what the hell's going on here?" I just politely, slowly put myself in a fetal, and when I woke up, it was like it was like
it
four
was.
or 5 minutes left, and I didn't like the score anyways. I was like, I just turned and finished watching something else, and then the next game was beautiful again. They
Yeah,
competed. So
yeah,
sports could be that thing. You know what I mean? I don't care what that thing is for people, but what I do care about is stay away from the stuff that ain't gonna be that thing. That's my thing. It's like this is the road of motivation. This is what you got to do. Treat it like that weird part of a neighborhood. You ever be
yes.
outside and then damn, I ran a little late, so now it's dark. That's already a bad thing, right? Walking,
Hmm.
park, I don't know what's behind these corners. But while you walking, if you're in a familiar area, You know the block's not to go there. You know the way home, right? So you like to work, home, wherever,
Mm.
and you know the way, and you like, yeah, I could do a shortcut through there, but that's shady as hell. I'm not going down there. That's an opportunity for somebody. I'm just going to take 10 minutes longer and go this way
Make
with
it.
all the lights, right? So look at that like anything else in life. Like if you know you want your spirits up and you want to stay motivated, why would you open an article or turn to a channel or hear something? Like you said, I cut that news off. I got that. That's cool. You know, and you ain't missed nothing because it was a lot more of the same, just different angles and a lot of beating the horse, not a dead horse because it's still alive, but beating
Hmm.
the same horse, in other words. The same thing in life. There's things you know that if you go down that direction, it's probably going to upset you. It's probably going to piss you off. It's probably going to make you sad, or it's probably going to make you depressed. And then there's things you look right at, go, this makes me happy. I like this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know
Yes.
something simple like going to see a movie is my thing, right? I know it makes me happy. I know I get in that recliner chair, lay back, I get that movie popcorn, which is the best. You know, I watch about 4 or 5 previews before I even see what the hell I came to see. I'm happy. I'm in my bag.
You in your
You
zone.
know?
Hmm.
And I leave out the funny thing about me, because I'm a movie buff, I know how to watch a movie, whether I like it, whether I think it was well done or corny or slow or a bad movie or whatever, doesn't bother my mood. My mood was based on the experience of going and really the popcorn, to be honest with you. And everything else, the popcorn is the star for me.
No, it
Everything
is.
else
It is.
is an add-on. So I say all that to say that's just my thing. Everybody has their own thing. And I stay away from the things that I know I ain't gonna like. Imagine somebody waking up and thinking of like people they hate and go, I'm gonna go see this dude. Why? You hate him. You
What
don't
purpose
like
does
him.
that serve?
You just said you say to somebody else, yeah, I'm gonna go see. Oh, I thought you didn't get along. I don't. He always don't have nothing nice to say. He always disrespecting me and going against the grain and doubting me. He has no faith in me. He don't like blah blah. Then why? You're
And
gonna
and
make you're gonna make a visit to where you don't like.
and to your point, that's such a microcosm for life. Like, to your point, mine's is music. So usually on the weekends and even during the week, there's various DJs on several platforms, Twitch, IG, Facebook, whatever. So I find the DJs that I really like and I just tune into their sets. And I'm usually, going off into a zone wherever they're going and enjoying myself because music does that for me. Music is my thing. Like even this morning, I got on the train and it was so funny to watch people's faces. My train isn't too crowded, thankfully. I'm back to work. And all of the people on the train just, you could feel the tightness. You could feel the lack of energy. And like you said, it's Monday. So I got a red alert R&B mix or something that I have. And when I tell you, no, but when I tell you this mix is fire, so I'm on the train and literally I'm doing this, I'm singing to myself, and it was just funny watching all the people look at me frustrated. But I was thinking to myself, you got on headphones. What are you listening to? Like, if if it's not gonna put you in a mood where you know what I'm saying, where you in your zone, then turn the shit off. Yo, you have no. I swear, I go through this almost every day because I usually put on stuff that I could sing along to. Now I'm not singing out loud. I'm singing to myself. But you ever do the singing and do the piano parts and the drums and everything? So I'm on the train. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
and and I'm watching people look at me. I said, what?
What are you listening?
Okay. I'm like, okay, you upset? What are you listening to?
Amir,
You
Amir, that's when you do this. That's when you do this.
get it on. Get yourself together here. Like, come
What are
on.
you listening to? No,
I,
but I mean that's so ironic to me, man. Like, and you're right though. And that's funny because I have all these things that come with the job that I do. Being a professional stand-up comedian, you have what I always call hazards of the job. Things that you probably wouldn't do if you had a different job. But because you have this job, you can't help but people watch.
so
Something simple like people watch, but a little more extreme than normal. Like we all people watch, but then a comedian, he's doing this analytical shit. He's not just watching you. He's watching you coming up with shit. So if anything pop off and he got to respond, he got the words. He ready. Words are our ammunition. So he's just sitting there analyzing the whole shit, and he's placing judgment on you mentally. You don't even know. He's like, look at this fool. What are you upset about? It's a nice day. It's 80 degrees. He's going through all that shit, and you have no idea. So I'm like that. When I go and travel, and I'm on a train because I love the train. If I'm on Amtrak and I'm going to DC or I'm going to Boston or whatever, and I'm upstate New York and I'm on my Amtrak and I'm chilling and I'm just taking it all in. Everything from the scenery to the Hudson River to, the people 2 things down or whether like, why did that person do that? Or why did they sit there and do that? Like I'm taking it all in. And you're right. When you take it all in, you see a lot of people that already are frowned up.
Just
you could, and you want to know why is this person frowned up? Like, especially like when the morning first start. See, like, here's my thing. I think before 10, 11 a.m., I don't even think nobody got a right to be frowned up. I'd be really like, why are you frowned? Like, we just started this morning, Like, what happened to you this early?
That's got you.
It's 10:47. What happened?
Yo, my thing, it'd be 7:30 in the morning because I get on the train about 7:30. I got to be working 8:30, so I get on about 7:30, and I see people just mean mugging. I'm like, it's 7:30. Was y'all banging for bacon this morning? What is going on? He took the last pancake. Look, y'all work that out. Let go your ego. Tell him next time. Stop, y'all. Come on. What is going on?
Oh man, listen, I'm motivated. It's Monday.
Yes,
Hopefully
sir.
everybody else is Monday. Hopefully you had a good weekend to lead into a good Monday, like I always say. So let's go back to sports real quick before we shift gears. So this weekend, so last weekend, the 2 teams I didn't expect to win. Even though I'm very scared of Cleveland Browns, I really thought Pittsburgh was going to win.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Seattle was going to
win. Yes.
Everything else kind of went according to plan, but I really thought that those 2 teams should have won their games. If on paper, if you look at how they, so they didn't, right? So now coming into this weekend, we got the Packers. I'm thinking the Packers gonna pull it out their game. I think the Bills get another win. I think the Chiefs win, unfortunately, because I really like to see the Browns make some noise. So that's one upset I wouldn't be mad at. And again, I think Tom Brady's going to win again. Tampa Bay.
Oh wow, you think Tampa Bay is going to take the Saints? Well, you know what? I mean, first and foremost, the games that you spoke of, with the losses. Ben Roethlisberger, he just didn't look like himself. That's first and foremost. Like he didn't look like himself. I don't know what was going on, but he just
Hamburger.
couldn't seem to get into a rhythm. Obviously, not having a running game didn't help him. And it's funny because I hear people say all the time, and it doesn't make a difference to me what quarterback it is. They're like, oh, this quarterback's great, that quarter. If you put pressure on any quarterback, you can turn this nigga into me or you back there. I don't give a damn what nobody say. The problem is too many teams get into this. Like even for instance with Browns, I was so mad at them when they jumped up 28 points and then went to the prevent. Niggas, what are y'all doing? Don't prevent now. I don't crush these niggas. Yo, make Pittsburgh so mad that they want to just fight. Forget it. It is what it is. You start going to prevent, you backing off, giving them what you giving them room for? You killing them.
Because they did what people who are not used to winning do. They got conservative in the end of the game. That's the old Andy Reid playbook of the old Chiefs. The old Chiefs. And one thing I thank God for Mahomes is because they gave Andy Reid somebody to say, okay, we go ahead, wild out. Because before that, Andy Reid would kick your ass 3 quarters, and quarter number 4 get so conservative, and he always lose the game, especially the big game. Anyway, like I said, I only brought it up because, again, which way the winds go, and if I get lucky and gamble or win some money or whatever the case may be, boom, going to be good money. All right, so that is what it is. All right, so this show, we got 3 guests coming in this hour, ladies and gentlemen, from the Wyckoff Foundation, which does a lot for the community and the children in the community. I got my girl Donna Brown's going to be joining us and telling us about that. Something that I think we all need to know about motivating me, man. I love people that stay the course and doing things in this time that is easy to say, screw it, fuck it, and just don't do nothing. Also, I got my man who's made it to the finals for the comedy competition, the TNT comedy competition clash at the Stress Factory at the end of the month. Julio Diaz will join us later in the show, ladies and gentlemen. But right now, comedian extraordinaire who's a part of the Martin Luther King Comedy Festival weekend down in Tampa, Clearwater area, all the way from Rochester, New
Yes.
York. Welcome to the show, Rima Reem. Rima Reem
Yes,
is in this.
yes, yes. Rima Ring. Welcome, welcome.
Hi, how you
Hello.
doing?
What's
All
going
right.
on with you, Reem?
What's up, guys?
Good,
Ain't nothing,
good, good.
ain't much, man. We just in here jamming, trying to stay motivated like you are, man. I just wanted to get you on here for a minute, chop it up because you got a big weekend coming up. You're part of the festival down
Big
in
weekend.
Clearwater, Tampa area. How you feel? What you got lined up?
I got something special lined up. I've never been in Tampa.
Wow.
So this is that's it. And so I'm a hot girl. So to be somewhere
Okay,
that might be a
okay.
little bit hotter,
Okay, okay.
okay, I'm a hot girl. So
All
I'm
right.
trying to get somewhere warm at least, because most of the time I am warm and not really
All
hot.
all right.
You
All
know.
right.
But
That
yeah, I'm really excited. I just can't wait to like kind of, mingle, mix around, just
Yeah.
make the people laugh, to like
okay.
pee on themselves a little bit, a little tinkle.
That's
You
a
Like
know,
good
that.
you know what
idea.
crack
That's
hey,
about it.
Amir, you know what cracked me up about Rima, right? So the last couple of days, I'm hitting all the comedians because they need a video for their promo. I'm like, send me the video, send me the video. Rima said, send a picture of a monkey, like a disheveled monkey. Is like, I look like this right now. Wait a minute. Tomorrow.
Listen, give me a second. I be having to pull myself together, and I was looking crazy. I said, "Y'all not gonna have me on national social media looking like
Look at
that little chimpanzee," because I was looking crazy for like days. Quarantine. I'm only dressed from the waist up. This is all I gotta do. So I mean, I'm just trying to make it work. So I like, just give me a second and I'll be with it. But yeah, I can't wait. It's so exciting. It's so exciting. I can't wait for Friday to come. Martin Luther King, free at last. Is that what he said? No, I don't
so
know.
you so you originally from Rochester.
No,
That's
I'm
home,
originally
born
from
and raised.
Buffalo. Buffalo.
Originally from Buffalo. Okay, well,
Yeah,
up
yeah.
that side. That means y'all understand snow. Y'all speak snow.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The
We
rest of
know
us
snow. We know all
y'all
about
speak
snow, but
snow.
we ain't really getting none that much though.
Thank hey, if I was you, I'd kind of just be like, okay,
I
you
ain't
know what I
mad.
mean?
Yeah,
Thank you.
I wouldn't mention it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know.
I
Rap,
messed up the intro. She's out of Buffalo, right, which is an hour
okay,
west of Rochester. But
okay.
I wouldn't even mention. Don't jinx yourself.
Yeah, there you go. Because that, I always tell people, all of us New Yorkers, cats be like,
Right.
I think it's gonna snow. I'll be like, CD, you go start cursing. You're gonna stop with the cursing now.
Don't
We
say
don't
it. Let it
don't
go.
do that.
We
We
not
we all
even.
right.
Don't say the S word.
There
Let
you
me tell
go.
you about snow in Buffalo. The funniest snow is I had a blizzard a couple of years ago, and real literally, right off downtown, you're talking about 6 feet or something, right? So
Right.
Quincy's only 5'4".
Yeah. He just making it. He just
The
making it.
Negro couldn't walk out his door. The snow is at the door, 6 feet.
Yeah.
The nigga was calling me like, I don't, what you want me to do, man? I know I'm 6'6". You want me to come all the way to
Come
Buffalo to shave a little more off the door, son? Like,
Right. Like, because he really is. I know he was barely. I know the snow was up to here. I know he had it up to here with the snow. I already know. I know how Quincy give it up. And I
oh
know
man. So
that.
listen. So what's going on, Amir? And it's funny because Amir just came back to the East Coast from Vegas, but like normally in Rochester, that's what made me say Rochester. I usually do this comedy festival every year at this time, and because
okay.
of our restrictions here in the state of New York and the less
Right.
restrictions in the state of Florida, my brother spotted. I said, hey, he was booking a show anyway. I said, why don't you just take the whole festival, and do a version of it? And he was like, hey, no problem. Just if you book it. So we go down there Thursday. Thursday night,
Right.
we talk a little ish with a little mixer. Just a few of us get together. We got the podcast, get ask some questions for some people and everything, kind of setting up the
Right.
week and set it off. Friday night is ladies' night.
Ladies'
Ladies first.
night.
I got my girls, my queens, these funny comedians are gonna come in there and show everybody how it's done. Kick the festival off right. You
Absolutely.
got
Yes.
Anika McLean, you got the lovely Rima Reem here. You got a couple of local girls that's gonna be ripping it up as well. Um, Everybody's so excited about Ladies Night. This is how crazy it is. I booked my girl Tamika for I think she's on the show with Corey or whatever, or Kyle Grooms. And then I got another couple of young ladies on the later show. Everybody's trying to get there early, like to be a
Wow.
part and witness
Right.
everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is dope.
No.
That's that comedy camaraderie. I love it. You
Right.
know, so
Absolutely.
ladies' night, um, Rima, when you get up there, let me give you the room is it's set up perfect. It's this perfect intimate. It's a banquet hall, like a two-piece banquet hall. But the way they
Nice.
set it up, intimate and perfect and everything in there, and the people who do the food, you're gonna love it and have a great time.
You
You know
said
what I mean?
food. You said food. I'm so. I said food.
Now,
Awesome. I can't
I
wait.
said food, yes. Now
Yes.
you're a mom, right? Because I always think it's
Yes.
different. The best comedians are parents. I
Yeah.
will say that.
Cause we got the most stressful life. We got the most stressful life.
Yeah,
No.
This
No
your
yeah.
time.
question.
You
Nope.
live. Yeah, you
I
live
be
it.
want to
If
quit.
if you don't have nothing else in your life that you care about other than yourself, how much can you write about? You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I
I
would
got
go
a question.
mountain. Go
I
ahead.
got a question for you, Rima. Was comedy something that you always wanted to do, or did you see yourself in something else, and then you fell into comedy like by accident or something?
Entertainment. Always.
Okay. Okay. So
Acting,
you. Okay.
theater. You know, I took
Okay.
acting classes like 10 years ago at NYU. No, more than that. Like
Okay.
15 years ago at NYU. So it's always been there. I just
Okay.
it fell into comedy like the last like 4 years, and it was like,
Ah.
okay, this is it. This is what you good at.
But
You
Okay.
entertain, but you
didn't I
huh?
see you star in some independent film works?
Yeah, actually, Friday Ladies Night is the night that the national premiere for the
Wow.
movie that I'm in, Conflicted. I'm a co-star.
Right.
It's produced by Griselda Records,
Okay.
AK Reed, Deuce King. It's a real awesome movie. Benny the Butcher and
Okay.
West Side Gun are in it. They produced the film, and it's a really dope. It's a dope movie, and it's going to be released on this Friday, as a matter of fact, to digitally,
Nice.
so people can rent it.
Okay. So it's
Oh,
gonna be on
nice.
Disney Plus or.
Oh well, not yet. We ain't make it
Okay.
Disney.
Oh,
We on
okay.
our way, but it's
Okay.
actually going to be on. It's a streaming platform. The
Platform.
link
Okay.
is in my bio. So Rima
Okay.
Reem is my social media handle, and the link is in the bio for that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah,
We
it's
got
That's
awesome.
definitely.
And
nice
it's
right
always
there.
been I've always been a little funny, and you know, I fell
That's
into it.
Let me ask you a question, Reem. What female comedians, if any, that you would put in your top 4 or 5 that you looked up to as you got started? Do you
Um
model yourself behind females? Because I've interviewed like people like Samora and them. Some of them they didn't even look at females. Like they just looked at
right.
comedy in general. So they came up on the male comics and then honed their own skills.
Right. I did too. Like I definitely came up Def Comedy Jam. I don't know who remembers, but they used to, do like a all night comedy joint New Year's Eve. Like so my
Yes,
mother would
I remember.
go to
Yeah.
church, and I'll be like this in front of the TV watching Def Comedy Jam. But like Adele Givens, some more, I came up off with them,
Okay.
Martin Talent, like Capone, like I grew up like watching them, and I just love it. I love some more. Some of the new female, like females are like currently doing comedy. I love them as well. Yes, all of them. Like it's I love every
That's dope.
comedy is
That's
crazy, and I definitely love a lot of the females, but the males as well. But it wasn't big for females. It was just that handful of real prominent female comedians, the queens of comedy, of course, and everything. So that was my little era coming up that inspired me. So
You know what I loved about the females is if you look at the history of comedy, you're right. You didn't see a clump of them at one time. I mean, nowadays is the most, but
right,
when you go back, you'll see one name every decade or two, right? Like the
right,
Moms Mabley, the Whoopies. They were spread out. But
right,
the good point is when it came to acting, comedic acting, we've always had women.
Yeah.
Like women have always brought that home. They've always owned that. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was almost like society or the powers that be in the entertainment world wanted to push them there more than push them there.
Right.
So you always turned on and seen comedic acting from like the Nell Carters, the
Absolutely.
mom from What's Happening, the Wheezies, the Florences, you
Yeah.
know. So you always seen them in our American television bringing the humor in that level. You know what I mean? That respect.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely always coming up. I always watched all of the black shows. It was a lot back then, that we
Right.
had to come up on. Martin,
Yes.
Tisha Arnold and everybody. So it's definitely, that was my inspiration. And then it just like, I kind of honed into the comedy scene.
Comedy.
So
Hey, name two comedians you don't like real quick. I don't mean don't like hate personal. I mean like I
right,
don't
like
really care
just
for that
that
guy.
I'll be just looking like,
Yeah.
I don't like what's happening right now. I want Kevin Hart to get back to, I don't know. I feel like I lost touch in his last special a little bit.
Okay.
I love him though, but I felt like I lost touch with, like I was like,
shit was corny.
I like relatable.
Shit was corny, yo.
Yeah.
Shit was garbage. It was trash. Say it.
These are the words out of my mouth. No, I mean, I really do. Like, I always thought Kevin was funny, but that shit right there, I was like, I was high, and I was like, why am I not laughing?
That's when it's bad. When you get high and don't get your
high, and I was just like, I'm waiting.
You got to get your money back from somewhere. You want to, you don't know if you should call Netflix or the weed supply.
This is what I'm saying. Like, something's not right. But,
one of y'all niggas owe me some money.
For real.
No, but I agree with that. Like, I think that what happened is, I don't think what happened is Kev per se. I think it's the climate. And I think that as a comedian, we're the new politicians, we're the new preachers, we're the new speakers per se, that the world has entrusted to handle shit. So when the climate changed, they expect us to tackle the climate and stay with the change. We can't go with the old remedy. You know what I mean? Like it's like the knock knock. The perfect analogy is you can't get away on stage with knock knock who's there. Like we're so past that.
Right.
We can't say just flew in, boy, my arm's tired, chicken crossed the road. Times have passed the little remedial jokes and they're in a different place, like come with it. So now look at the climate we're in, right? As a people, and you are downstairs in your basement in pajamas still talking about the same thing. And the people are like so past that.
Yeah. No, I definitely wasn't really feeling that. But other than that, like off the top, I really can't think. I love the different styles of comedy,
Right.
And I'm just really I'm still trying to learn, grow right, and get my lane right. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So I pay attention when I need to, study when I need to, but for the most part, like everybody's in their own lane. I just wasn't happy with that shit Kevin just did. That's all. Yeah.
Well, I listen, I appreciate your honesty. A comedian. I only ask people shit like that because I want to force them into an honesty corner, because
hell yeah.
I tell people all the time, you're not going to be a good comedian if you can't be fucking honest. Like, that's what we do. That's what the people expect us to do. That's what we do. And the more honest you are, the more funny you can be. You can't be but so funny if you just making up hypotheticals or not keeping it real.
I learned that early. Just say the shit. Just say it. They gonna laugh or they not. It's just say it.
Well, thank you for being you, Mama. I appreciate you being you. Good luck on this weekend. Safe travels. I'll meet you there at the airport when you get in. We're gonna be toasted, man. So I got everything. I got the edibles. I got the liquor. I got.
Good luck, Rima. I know you're gonna kill. So I can't wait to hear about it.
Ladies and gentlemen,
thank you for being on
Buffalo
Rima.
Right there.
Yes.
I'll see you soon. We'll talk.
All right.
Joining us on Motivation Monday. Amir, she's a sweetheart. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah,
she really is. And you know what? She reminds me, as a couple of, like, I got a handful of group of comedians that I gravitate towards, in the country, that for no other reason other than that they really want to get better. They really want to be the best they could be. So they actually listen and apply the information. Bro, I'm a 30-year veteran in comedy. I got nothing but jewels for you.
Yeah. No
it'd be
question.
different if I got just 30 years. I'm one of the corny ones. I got
But you,
30 years, and I can show you how to do it, or at least I
yeah,
can put you in the right direction. So she's one of those people that I don't mind talking to all day, every day, because she takes the jewels and she applies the jewels. I understand back in the living room, we got our next guest back there. So I want to bring her here and explain what it is that she does, what the organization does, because we're all about motivating things. Like I said, we're in a town. We're in a time where people can lay down. People can throw the sticks down. People can throw the white flag up. People can surrender. Say and think about it. Some people do it just because they can't. Ain't
yes,
nobody gonna blame you because it's COVID and it's a pandemic. But this woman said, "Hell no." She just got some foot surgery or something done, and still said, "Hell yeah, I'll limp my ass to the computer and do that interview."
do what
Ladies
I
and
got to
gentlemen,
do.
for White Top, one of my money earning Mount Vernon comrades. Give it
Yes,
up for Donna.
yes, yes,
Donna,
yes.
Hi,
Hello,
T.
hello.
Hi, guys.
how
Hi.
are
How
you?
you
How are
doing?
you?
You're looking
Good, good.
wonderful.
Well, I got my stitches out so I can walk, and
Congrats.
so of course, I'm driving everywhere. Done spent about $300 in a half an hour because I couldn't
Wow.
spend money for 2 weeks. So I'm back. I'm back,
And
baby.
you
There
know
you
you
go.
love to spend some money.
Child, please. If it ain't a shoe there, I ain't met a shoe I don't like.
Well, I know that's right. Good, but I always have this argument with women. They see I got 200 watches. They go, "You got 200 watches? What you need 200 watches for?" I said, "How many shoes you got?" And
No,
it's all.
You ain't start yet.
I do not even put myself out there because, as you know, my friend had to move me one time, and after a while, he's like, "Yo, this is ridiculous. Yeah,
Wow.
stop the shoe parade, please,
Well,
please
thank you for
stop
jumping
it."
on the show. This is all about motivating and motivated people. This is my co-host, my good friend Amir. Amir, this is Donna.
Hi, Amir.
Um,
Donna, hello.
so let's jump right in, Donna. First and
Yes.
foremost, you have this foundation, this organization called YCOP. The letter Y dot C dot O dot P. What is that exactly? What does that stand
Well, YCOP was started. Um, quite a few years ago. The new rendition of YCOP started in 2012. It was begun by Alan Ayers, who was a retired detective, and he,
Mm.
um, that's where the YCOP came from.
Yes.
And just a second while I choke my child. Is that all right?
Yeah,
Okay,
go ahead, take your time.
turn that off, please.
Look, it's
Thank you.
COVID. We
Anyway,
all
it's your buddy. I'm sorry, Talent. But
it's okay.
anyway, so YCOP was started back in the day. I'm not exactly sure, about 2008, 2009. But the new renovation of YCOP was started in 2012 when Alan Ayers came out of retirement and he asked my boss, my executive director, Henry Wilson, to restart the program. And Henry Wilson started the program. He made it before it was a drop-in center, basically. It was to give kids something to do. So they were playing basketball, they were playing games, blah, blah, blah. Then when Mr. Wilson reinvented the program, he brought it back as an after school, out of school, in school basketball program. We do a girls empowerment group. We do a wonderful summer camp, and we have a lot of things going on. We have a CIT program, and we're all non for profit. And what we do is we provide outlets for kids in Mount Vernon. Some kids, a lot of single parent families, kids that need us, kids
Yeah.
that need us, kids that need mentors, kids that need direction, and also for the parents. Also for the parents, we supply a safe haven
Yes.
for their children.
Now let's not neglect to leave out the part that, and Amir, you know this as being a New York City kid as well. We had the luxury and the privilege of growing up in our day as a kid, where you had
Yeah,
all these programs that were going on. So we had the PAL, we had
right.
what we call the Mount Vernon Rec. We had Rec. So Rec was like when we got to that adolescent age where we got little busybody hands or whatever.
Yeah,
You could
yeah.
go 7 to 9 at night to any school, and
Yeah.
pick up a ball and get all that out. And then at 9 o'clock, take your ass home, take a
Yeah,
bath, go to bed. It's time to go to bed. But all of these programs have been defunded. It's
yeah.
funny
They've
how
fallen by the
everybody,
wayside.
exactly, everybody's fighting to not defund the police. How about y'all defunded the kids?
Yeah.
It's amazing with all of the children that we have here, and people think, oh well, why do you talk up the boys' club, or why do you work with these guys? Because this is no competition, and there are ample children in need for all of us. There's room for all of us and more. There's room
Okay.
for all of us and more. And so we work directly with the Boys and Girls Club. We work directly. Mel Campos is one of our biggest allies and supporters. And we try to get to each and every kid because, and I don't want to keep saying kids because we deal at YCOP, we deal with the family as a whole.
Yeah.
Because the mom that's having trouble with her kid, we go to the school.
Okay.
We're not just waiting for the kids to come to us. We go to the school. We're advocates for parents who don't necessarily know how to navigate the system. You have parents that even some parents whose maybe their immigration status isn't the strongest. So we advocate for them. We're there for the whole family. We're there to provide a safe place for the kids, but
Right.
also to give you information that can be helpful to you in your daily life.
And go ahead, Amir.
I was going to say, just thinking out loud, a ballpark figure of how many families your program is helping, like just around about.
I'd say in a year we help at least 500 families. Again, now this is the new time. This is new time. Our summer camp in 2019, we had over 150 kids. This year, due to COVID, we were only able to help 20. We had between 20 and 25 kids because, again, you have to do this safe distancing. We couldn't do it in our regular spots. So we had to be outside in the parking lot. Thank you, Pastor Branch, for allowing us to have the space. So we're still there. We're scaled back due to COVID, but we're still there.
But that was my question going to be, why not just not do it?
Because I got Henry Wilson as my boss. And I don't want to get all googly here, but we all got sick. I mean, when I tell you, when we got sick, I don't know what was going on in March, but there wasn't any of that. Oh, gee, I don't have any symptoms. I'm fine. We were down and out.
Right.
Myself, Henry, some of our other people, we got sick, but we still had other members who were still, that were well. We said we got to feed the kids, so we did a grab and go.
Okay.
Because especially the kids whose only good meals were coming from school and coming from YCOP. Because in our after school program, our kids get a meal. Great, turkey with gravy and fresh mashed potatoes and string beans. This is what we were supplying. And then here, all of this is gone. And if you remember the beginning of the COVID pandemic, nobody was getting that money from unemployment. Nobody was getting anything. They couldn't go to work. Everything was shut down. And you're having parents struggling to feed kids that are home all day and don't have anything to do but eat. So we worked with First United Methodist Church, our home base, and they were giving out food, and we gave out hot meals. And then summer camp came, time for summer camp, and nobody is doing anything. I believe, and you can't quote me on this, but I believe Boys and Girls Club, Boys and Girls Club and YCOP were the only two people that had a summer program going on. And I was leery But Henry said, we're going to figure out a way to do this. And that's what we did. We figured out a way to do it. And it sounded crazy. I said, okay, we're going to get some tents and we're going to set it up outside and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. But we did it.
Okay.
And it was glorious.
Yes.
Because our parents were ecstatic. Our kids had a blast. We had great partners, great partners. Dan Bernstein from Backyard Sports. What can I do for you? What can I do for you? Everything he did, he sent counselors. We played this game called Gaga Ball. We did soccer. He supplied everything for that. So we had really good partners come in, and we had people from Merrill Lynch. They donated an outside basketball hoop, the kinds that can roll around. And we were able to, we had physical exercise. We had a young lady come in and do yoga with the kids. We had a teenager, a high school student come in, and she did music with the kids. And again, we did it, but we social distanced. The kids had to wear their masks. And, luckily we got through it with no COVID. And I tell you, after that, and watching kids, if you have anybody telling you that these kids are okay in school, there was a meme going out about a kid came home, the mom says, that's not your mask. Where's your mask? And he said, I traded mine with Johnny. The kids do that. The kids do that. They get their juice, and you're watching them, but they're sharing stuff. And I don't like that. Here, you want it? So it's difficult, but we did it. We did it.
Well,
we found a way.
Round of applause for you and all that you do.
It took a lot of work. I'm telling you,
Shout
it took
out
a lot of
to,
work.
I know it is. I see you do it, and I know it to be true. Shout out to not only Miss Donna Brown, but to Henry, to Officer Ayers, one of our staples in the community from when I was a little boy. It's like, you just respect this man to me. You hear me? This is the head. You step up or shape out, in other words.
That's the truth.
Somebody sent me some clothing line, a hoodie, Donna. There's a rose right here, and on the back it said, "Give me my flowers while I'm here."
Yes.
And sitting on my couch at one of my little breaks today, the epiphany came over to me and was like, Donna, why God? And that's why I wanted to reach out to you and get this word.
We're so excited. And we just came from, well, first off, let me say, I want to thank everyone that helped us with our toy drive. That's another thing that we do it every year. We have the Santa Claus. We usually have two. We've got a DJ, and we're inside the gym and we're giving out toys. This year we had to do it differently. We did it outside. It was a grab and go. The kids came up, they got a bag full of toys. The parents came up, they got a box of food, and they had to split. But the kids were so happy to see one another, because you got to remember, these kids are stuck inside.
Yeah.
And that was why we had to do it, because they've gone without so much. We're asking a lot of these kids.
Yeah,
we're asking a lot of these kids, and it's like, yeah, okay, well, what about feeding them? So, why are you worrying about toys? Because God dang it, those kids deserve some joy.
And they're still kids. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And on behalf of all the Westers, all the Mount Vernon, thank you so much, Donna. I appreciate everything you do, and let you know that people are always watching, and we respect you.
Thank you.
White Four Square for life, baby. Thank you, Donna Brown.
All right, love you, T. Bye, Amir. Take care.
That's dope right there. You know what I mean? And you know what's funny, Amir? They do something. One of their fundraisers, their biggest fundraiser, yearly they do a big gala. You know what I mean? And in the big gala, they honor people and award people. So it was nice that I got the epiphany today. Like, you know what? Call and give the person who give accolades some accolades.
Yeah, it reminds me, to something that you said, to the old school mothers that used to be a part of our neighborhoods. in the community. You know how you had those mothers that always made sure the community ate. They ran the food programs and, you know, the programs within the projects or whatever, the community rooms. And they just always did a great job of making sure, you know, we had activities. We were, you know, on that cuspice of trying to do the right thing, learn something new, respect one another. And it's great to see that, like you said, even in this, you know, current climate, we still have, you know, men and women who are still using that platform to still help our young people find that, not only stay motivated, but, you know, get into that rhythm. Because for a lot of us, that's where we got our talents from. Those moments where you know, around your boys and, you know, y'all playing football and you figured out, yo, this nigga gonna be a running back for somebody, dog. Be different. You know what I'm saying? You just found that out. You coming up, you know, you had your boys, you're like, he different, dog. He not like the rest of them. I don't care what they say. That nigga different. So, you know, then the rest of you, you know, the rest of you don't feel bad, but you just know, you know, you're like, yeah, son. And if he don't make it, that's on him, dog, because that's still for you. It's so funny how, you know, now that we're older, T, you can look back at a lot of this stuff, though, and, you know, and see those moments. But when you was a kid, you saw them, but not in the same, you know, way that you see them now. So it's super dope with that, you know?
I just think that's super funny. Yeah, so I definitely got to shout out Wyckoff. And just to give a little insight, like you trying to see at the end, they even got to the point where they did this whole food thing and toy thing in the winter months. That, you know, one day she just sent me a text and was like, "Yo, if you know any families, we got a lot of stuff left over towards the food." So I did a blast of, you know, a couple hundred people that I just knew in the area. My phone was like, and got some hitbacks, you know, some nice amount of hitbacks. Like, yes, I know a family over here, blah 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 blah, because there's no shame in it, you know, and that's part of motivating too. It's like for us looking out for each other. The minute we can get everybody to believe there's no shame in that, then those people can get motivated. Like some people get stagnated because they're worried about how everybody's going to look at them.
That speaks to what you and I talk about when we laugh about, you know, food stamps back in our day.
Right.
And now, you know, going to the supermarket with that colored money, you be in there, you be looking around. You ready to go to the counter? You see your boy, yo, T, what's up? Oh, nothing, man. I got to get something out of aisle 6. So you gonna leave all this stuff here? Yeah, leave that here. I'm gonna go get what I got to get out of aisle 6.
You're right.
But then you peek out of aisle 6 and see he using food stamps.
You're right.
Food stamps.
No. Yo, you ain't never lied, man. You ain't never lied. Also, I got to shout out my peoples in Jersey. For the last almost 14 years, we've been doing a monthly comedy series at the world famous Stress Factory Comedy Club. Vinny Brand's Stress Factory. Vinny Brand's a comic in his own right that happened to do what I do, is own their own comedy clubs. And he has the Stress Factory in Brunswick. He has one in Bridgeport. He keeps a lot of people working throughout the year. And like I said, 14 years of working with Vinny in this club, bringing them, you know, Sunday nights live, our comedy thing. Shout out to my man Power. Shout out to Tony Tutu, who's my co-host that evening. Shout out to DJ DS, the music producer, hosting, music director. And all of these pieces come together with great discourse, right? So because of COVID, like everybody else, our show was on deck. We do the last Sundays of the month. We were on deck for the last Sunday of March. You know, everybody knows that the restrictions hit mid-March. But we were done March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, and now January. 11 months till we got back to business in there. And what they did, what people don't know, if you've never been to the Stress Factory, they built, it started off in the summer with them building like a tent outdoor club annex. And it actually ended up being second to most nightclubs in New York City. So they said, well, damn, forget going back in until this thing is all the way over. We're just going to put the heaters in here and went to proof it and get it out here. And they've been rocking ever since. So this is our first time back in there. And we started off by giving away money. We're doing a comedy competition, and we're gonna give away $500 to the funniest male or female that night. Uh, out of 9 comics, we picked 9 comics to make the finals. And out of those 9 comics, somebody's gonna walk away with $500 because they was the funniest night. Our audience is our judges, so you ain't gotta worry about nobody running down, robbing nobody. He slipped him $50. That's Paul's cousin, and ain't none of that. Is who should win, and the crowd will let us know, and we'll find a winner that way. Our third guest, Julio Diaz, is one of the brothers that had made the finals. He did. I did Wednesday, the day before New Year's Eve, the drive-in show on Radio. He just stopped by to do some minutes, crushed it, got hired the next night into a paid spot, crushed it, got put into the final of the Spets Factory on the 31st of this month. And I know he's going to cry. I'm telling him, I said, dude, get that bag, man, because it's in your reach. But he is a key example of motivation. You know what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, Julio Diaz is my main man. It's like he didn't get in here. So we're not gonna wait for him to give him his flowers while he's not here. This dude, the reason why he made that, he's the epitome of what we talk about on the show every week. You know, here's a young brother. You know, these young kids, Donna alluded to something about, you know, how the kids are gonna be kids.
Yes. Yes.
And when I look at these young kids that are in their 20s, these millennials, this I think might be even an easier way out for them than us, because they're at the getting going stage. So they're at the pressure coming from their parents as they hit 25 and 29. So like, what you gonna do? So now here comes this thing, and this could be the ultimate setback for them, to give them the ultimate excuse, in other words,
to stop or to not do something.
But he didn't do it.
You know, to your point, I think, you know, we have a tipping of the scales. You know, you have that spectrum, or, you know, that part of the scale, and then you have the other spectrum to something that which you alluded to earlier, which you were saying about not being motivated or finding excuses or looking at a thing from a perspective that doesn't necessarily sound or even appear to be positive. I think, you know, one of the key things about keeping yourself motivated should be looking for the positivity in everything. I know that sometimes even when negative things happen, there's a tendency to allow that energy of the event to drag you down, or to, you know, to make you feel a specific way. But, you know, we should really be trying to look for the beauty in everything, because there really is beauty in just about everything. I know people say, no, it's not. I'm like, it really is. It just depends on what your perspective is. And I think for most of us, that is a word that we have to challenge ourselves with time and time again. Perspective is one of those things that requires this. So you got to look at it from just about every angle, hopefully, and then take some of the angles from friends, family, and so forth and so on as well. We tend to, you know, keep our rose-colored glasses on, which is good, but sometimes you got to take your rose-colored glasses off and borrow your man shades. Let me see see what it looks like through those, because, you know, I was a little spotty. You know, you ever put some shades on and it got the greasy marks? You be looking at, he's looking through them, trying to see if they're okay. We tend to do that. We never actually say, yo, son, I need some Windex or something for these bad boys. I can't see, these smudges is killing me.
No, absolutely. No, I get that, absolutely, man. And I just applaud, you know, anybody that's picking up on what the message is that we give week to week. It's the same message, man. We rap it, we re-rap it, we give you examples, analysis out the wazoo, because you can't get tired of positivity. You can get tired of negativity, all of the, what do they always say? Like, the recovering addict, until you get tired, get sick and tired of being sick and
Tired. Yeah.
that's when you actually ready for a rehab and go the other way.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with energy, and drive.
And to your point, there, to me, there's so many, again, things that you could look to. I mentioned this before on different platforms and different shows that we've had, but I find myself motivated by some of the comedic new art forms that are out here, meaning some of these internet comedians who do these skits that, talk about everything from relationships to work to, whatever. Like I said, I'm motivated by the music that I'm hearing and certain formats of songs that I've never heard before. Somebody might have a Earth, Wind, and Fire mix that I've never heard before. Like, oh, that's a mean mix. But I look to those things and I'm excited by those things because then it tells me that we haven't seen everything. It means that there's always room for something new and something, a different format, a different version of something to now be brought to the world. And I'm hoping that, to your point, that's what's happening with what we do on Mondays. We're lighting those fuses that are jumping off all around us and all around the country. And those fuses are then lighting the fuses in their circles. Because like I said, most people don't know this, but if you throw a rock in the middle of a pond, that rippling effect keeps going for quite a while. And the beauty of that rippling effect is just that. It's a rippling effect. You might not hear about it. You'd like to, think that people would give flowers or you get your flowers, in those moments. But sometimes it doesn't work out that way. But just know this. People are watching. People are trying to
at all times.
People are trying to sometimes even take your ideas. And I used to be one of those people like, oh, that's messed up. But I started realizing somebody takes your idea in all fairness, that just means you had a dope idea. And if you had one dope idea, you can have another one. Don't ever be caught up, like that was it.
Yeah. You know what? In my line of work, Amir, and in my journey, about to be an exact 30-year journey, I went through that more times than not. And when I had to get to a place to understand why that was, why the more I go, the more people piggyback or take the idea. And I had to look back and stop looking at it, like you said, look at it with a different pair of glasses. Instead of my personal pair of glasses, which I'm always see like, you stole my shit. Look at it through some other glasses and wake up and say, you know what? You're the blueprint. So every blueprint of every architectural feat is the start and the foundation of many.
And that DNA, once you, like you said, as a seasoned veteran of the comedy game, when you go out there and you see specific things, you're like, wow. And here's the thing: you might not even know that in some way, shape, or form, sold into that person through whatever they saw. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It doesn't make it a good thing or bad thing. They could have saw one of your old tapes or old clip of you or whatever, and it was like the way talent holds a mic, the way he does his thing with holding a bit, whatever. And it resonated with them in such a way that they was like, I need to find a way to do what he does, but put my own spin on it, which again is just them saying, thank you, because you gave me a nugget unbeknownst to you that I can now utilize and put in my, in my format and in my DNA.
And this is what I did. Because I'm a hotel guy. I'm an entertainer, constantly moving and shaking and traveling. So one thing that becomes a fixture in my movement are hotels. So when a chain makes a certain blueprint of a hotel, why do you think you can go all around the world and stay in a Marriott courtyard and they all look the same? They took a blueprint and they said, this is going to be the Marriott courtyard. Oh, but what about Cleveland? Nigga, this is the blueprint. This is the Marriott courtyard. I don't care if it's in Poughkeepsie, New York. I don't care if it's in Cleveland, Ohio, and everything in between. This is the blueprint for the Marriott Courtyard Hotel. And that's how you got to look at yourself and look at everything you do. When you see a replica of, or somebody takes a like of, and wants to look like you as a piece of, or anything like that, you step back, like Amir said, you put on different pair of reading glasses and look at it from a different angle. And you made this see and understand how you got to that point.
Yes.
All right. There's been another Motivation Monday. Amir Silly in the building, brother. Boy, talent over here. Shout out to our guest. Sorry that Julio didn't make it through our call to figure out what happened with that. We still got more time before you hit that stage out in Jersey, the Stress Factory. But shout out to Rima. Rima, good luck on her weekend at the Film Festival at Mauryville Football in Clearwater, Tampa, Florida. You can hit the boxes on all my Facebook pages or on Instagram, Talent the Comedian. And find out more information before weekend if you got family down in Florida. And Donna Brown, my man Henry, Mr. Ayers, the whole organization, YCOP, for keeping the tradition going and taking care of these families in the most crazy time of need. Me and Amir, this has been Motivation Monday, Wins Radio, WESRadio.com. Check us out. Salute everybody.
Salute everybody.